Grimjaw the Terrible had exactly three things going for him. Muscles the size of tree trunks.
A battle axe that had seen more action than a soap opera villain, and absolutely zero brain cells dedicated to reading the fine print on magical contracts. Standing 8 feet tall with arms like hairy battering rams, Grimjaw was the kind of berserker who solved problems by hitting them until they stopped being problems. His beard alone could house a family of squirrels, and his war cry could shatter Windows 3 villages over. He wore nothing but a loincloth and an impressive collection of scars, each one a trophy from some poor soul who made the mistake of getting between him and his next meal. Which is exactly how he ended up face-to-face with Lysandra the Cunning, a sorceress with sparkling purple eyes,
A knowing smirk, and what appeared to be a very interesting proposition.
"Mighty warrior," she called out
As Grimjaw stomped through the enchanted forest, leaving a trail of broken branches and confused woodland creatures in his wake.
"I have a quest worthy of your considerable talents."
Grimjaw skidded to a halt, his massive feet carving furrows in the earth. Grimjaw-like quests.
"What? R-E-M-J. Wasmush. Oh, nothing too complicated," Lysandra purred, producing a delicate scroll from thin air. "Just a simple retrieval mission. I need you to fetch me the crystal of eternal moonlight from the Whispering Caves. The reward is ... double. Quotes. She paused dramatically. 1,000 gold pieces. Grimjaw like gold. Grimjaw take quests. Wonderful. Just sign here." She held out the scroll and a quill that materialized from nowhere, "and we can begin immediately."
Now, if Grimjaw had possessed even a modicum of common sense, he might have wondered why a sorceress needed
a brute warrior to fetch a crystal instead of just teleporting it herself. He might have questioned why she was grinning like a cat who'd discovered the canary came pre-seasoned. He definitely should have read the contract. Instead, he grabbed the quill in his massive fist and scratched something that vaguely resembled his name across the parchment. The moment the quill lifted from the paper, the scroll burst into flames, and Lysandra's grin widened to positively wicked proportions. "Excellent! Now, there's just one teensy-tiny detail I forgot to mention." Before Grimjaw could grunt out a response, magical energy erupted from the ground beneath his feet. Pink and gold sparkles swirled around him in a tornado of glitter. That would have made a unicorn jealous. The berserker found himself lifted off the ground, spinning helplessly as the magic wrapped around him like festive ribbons. "What happening? Grimjaw! Nitrogen, monoxide, like spinny lights." "Oh, don't worry," Lysandra called out cheerfully over the magical maelstrom. "The crystal of eternal moonlight can only be touched by someone with a pure heart and gentle spirit. So naturally, I'm helping you become exactly that. Consider it a professional makeover." As the sparkles intensified, Grimjaw felt the strangest sensations coursing through his body. His massive frame began to shrink, muscles condensing and reshaping. His tree-trunk legs became slender and graceful. His boulder-like shoulders narrowed to delicate curves. His chest, well, that was developing in entirely new and concerning ways. Grimjaw feel weird. Grimjaw getting smaller.
Why?
Grimjaw voice getting. His booming baritone cracked like a teenager's.
Shooting up several octaves into a melodious soprano that sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Oh, my," his new voice said, much more quietly than intended. "This is unexpected." The transformation wasn't finished. His wild, matted black hair lightened to a shimmering golden blonde that cascaded down his back in perfectly styled waves that would have made a salon owner weep with joy. His rugged, bat-scarred face smoothed into delicate features with high cheekbones, full lips, and eyes that shifted from muddy brown to the most stunning shade of emerald green. Even his crude loincloth transformed, becoming an elegant forest green tunic and leggings that seemed to be made from moonbeams and morning dew.
When the magical light show finally ended, A petite elf woman stood where the mighty Grimjaw had been just moments before.
She was perhaps 5'4", with pointed ears, an hourglass figure that belonged in a Renaissance painting, and an expression of complete bewilderment. "Grimi mean ... She cleared her throat, trying to recalibrate to her new vocal range. "What did you do to me?" Lysandra clapped her hands together in delight. "Oh, you look absolutely divine. The ears are a nice touch, don't you think? Much more aesthetically pleasing than those whatever those bumps on your head were before. Those were my horns. I spent decades growing those." The newly transformed elf gestured frantically at her head,
Where indeed her fearsome battle horns had been replaced by elegantly pointed ears. Change me back this instant.
"I'm afraid that's impossible until you complete the quest," Lysandra said with mock sympathy.
The spell is binding until the crystal of eternal moonlight is in my possession.
"But look on the bright side, you're much prettier now." The former berserker looked down at her new body, then up at the sorceress, then down at her body again. A wide range of emotions played across her delicate features. Shock, outrage, confusion, and though she'd never admit it, a tiny bit of curiosity. "This is ridiculous. How am I supposed to fight like this? I single quotes. M. She gestured helplessly at her petite frame. "Adorable," Lysandra suggested helpfully. "Delicate," she finally shouted, though even her shouts now sounded like angry butterflies. Despite her protests, as they began walking toward the Whispering Caves, the newly transformed warrior found herself noticing things she'd never paid attention to before. The way sunlight filtered through the leaves was actually quite beautiful. Those flowers smelled lovely. And was that a family of rabbits? How cute! She shook her head vigorously, sending blonde waves flying. "This is the spell talking. Grimjaw does not care about flowers." "Are you sure about that, Grimjaw? Because you've been stopping to smell every rose we've passed for the last 10 minutes. I was investigating them for threats. Very threatening roses." By the time they reached the caves, the former berserker had unconsciously braided a few wildflowers into her hair, helped a lost squirrel find its family, and somehow acquired a small butterfly that seemed content to ride on her shoulder. "I hate everything about this," she muttered, though her voice lacked conviction. "Well then," Lysandra said with that insufferable smirk, "let's get that crystal and see about changing you back, shall we?" As they entered the caves, the transformed warrior couldn't help but wonder if maybe, just maybe, she should have read that contract a little more carefully. But first, she had a quest to complete, even if she now had to do it while looking absolutely fabulous.